Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Franchise Tag Podcast. I'm your host, Sky Pank, and today we're here with a very, very special guest, Joshua Kelley. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing really good, bro. Excited for this week, bro. So thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being on. And yeah, fantastic win over the Vikings. It must be really happy coming off of that first win of the season. What's sort of your reaction now? It's been a few days, and you probably digested that victory and looking onto the Raiders as well.
Yeah, no, it was a good win, man. It was a good win. It was a dogfight, especially on the road going over there, playing those guys. And, bro, that fan base and that atmosphere was crazy. But we got it, man. We got it in our bag. Finally, we got one. So now we're just looking forward to this week. It's a division game. So all these ones count.
Yeah, it's a big win. And like you're saying with the atmosphere, they always remind me Minnesota with, the whole Iceland Euros. We were talking about the other football beforehand. They're pretty up for it. So, yeah, that was a tough win on the road. Congrats for that.
Thank you.
Speaking of other tough wins, I mean, when you came into the league, your debut was a tough win over the Bengals. I think it's 16-13 win. I remember, a very big game for you opening your career. Because, the running back position being drafted in the fourth round, people always think, how is it going to turn out? But I think you had, a good debut season. And just in terms of you and your own sort of self-analysis, how do you think you've developed and what's your biggest improvement that you've made to your skill set since coming into the league?
Yeah, that's a great question, bro. I feel like, honestly, when I first came in, it was just trying to understand how the game is played at this level. I feel like my habits just as a pro wasn't nearly what they are now. Like for me, man, I watch so much tape. I'm in the film room. I'm looking up so many different things in terms of the defense, my reads, all that. It's making me play a lot faster. And I feel like my first couple of years, it wasn't me, playing as fast as I could because honestly, I didn't really understand the game, understand the run concepts and how each run concept is different. And so for me, bro, I think this past couple of seasons for me has been slowing the process down and really studying the game. That gives you an edge.
Yeah, and I think the reason I touched upon your development, I hope you don't mind me saying, of course, in your rookie season, there was some fumbling issues like there is with a lot of young running backs, not mega ones, but I think when I looked at you this preseason, there was a 75-yard run against the Niners. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I know I was talking to you about fantasy football before, I'm thinking, do I need to get Joshua on my team? I'm like, he's doing this in preseason, it's looking good. And I think you've stepped up every time. Obviously, Austin Eckler's has been hurt, and I think the NFL is very big on next man up. I know you've sort of alluded to it there, but how do you stay prepared to ensure that when your number's called that you can contribute and perform at your best?
Great question. I feel like you got to prepare as if you're the starter every single week.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of guys, it's all right, just because you're not starting doesn't mean you're not going to get those opportunities. So if you study and prepare as if you're going to start, you'll be ready. So there won't be a shock. There won't be oh man, I wish I studied this more, so that's kind of been ingrained in me since I've been in high school and college. Coaches have always fed that to me, hey, you have to prepare as if you're going to be playing the entire game. So that helps.
Yeah, especially in the in the NFL, I feel like when they say starter, then the next play someone else can be in. It's not like the other football where someone starts and there's a sub 60 minutes later. So it makes sense about being prepared from the get-go.
Have to.
It's been a couple of years now, obviously you being in the league. Do you feel like now you're in a place where you can give advice to some guys coming through? Because the reason that I'm asking this, obviously, unfortunately, there was Mike Williams has been hurt on the weekend, and we've looked at a guy like Quentin Johnson, who really good in college. I think people are now thinking that he could be a guy who can make a big impact on your offense. Do you have any sort of advice for guys in that situation now, where you've been in the league a couple of years, and where you can sort of come from your own experiences and share that with them?
That's a good question. I think for a lot of young guys, I think the biggest thing is it's honestly you got to find that balance, bro. I think you have to prepare, you have to study the game, you have to take this seriously. But at the same time, I just don't think you can go on the field and start overthinking and press. And a lot for these guys that's young, I feel like sometimes you can get in your own head, just like how I was my first couple of years, just in my own head sometimes. Dang, I'm pressing, I'm overthinking it. And I think for them, it's just being confident and understand like, hey, you were here for a reason. You didn't stumble here on accident. Like no one stumbles to this level on accident. So I think it's reminding them that and just trusting their game, trusting their ability, you know. And there's also good players out there. It's not like you have to be Superman. You know, you look at offense and you see there's other great players out there. Defense, there's other great players out there. So it's not like we're asking you to do everything, you know.
Your offense is pretty stacked every time. I'm sure Justin, when he's in practice or on game day, is probably thinking, I've got 5-6 options here, especially someone like yourself who can catch out of the backfield too. That always helps at the running back position. So
yeah. Absolutely, it does, bro. It makes you more valuable,
especially in today's NFL. And do you know what? Speaking of that, being able to catch it from out of the backfield, we spoke before recording. And I mentioned about LaDainian Tomlinson, right? When we talk about Arsenal as well, I imagine like in our football, Thierry Henry, Arsenal legend, when Theo Walcott comes through, he probably goes and picks Thierry's brain. Was there any, could you pick up the phone to LT when you first were drafted and be like, yeah, I'm on the Chargers now. Where's the advice?
No, it was crazy. Honestly, like for him, bro, it was one of those things where the COVID season happened. Yeah. And I was hoping to meet this guy. And I was like, dang. So a lot of people weren't really around that whole COVID year. But I think these past 2 seasons he's been around, and it's been crazy because like every time he's there, he specifically comes up to us like after practice and he just gives us advice. And it was cool because I won't ever forget this. Like he spoke to us and he was telling us like one thing as a back, he's like, it's all about your mentality. And he said, my favorite running back was Walter Payton. And Walter Payton always said, never die easy. So he's like, when I have the ball out there, I'm thinking never die easy. It's going to take 3, 4, 5 dudes to bring me down. And his mentality, just the way like he was playing, just that's something I was really listening and paying attention to. So, I mean, obviously he's arguably the best player that's ever played here in this organization for sure. So one of the best running backs of all time. So when he says something, I'm for sure listening.
Yeah, I'd be even voice recording it by that point. I think I'm going to listen back to this tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was a cheat code on Madden. I know we were talking about Madden too. He was my, every year, whichever team I was trading for him. So
it was ridiculous, bro. And for me, growing up in Cali, there was so many LT jerseys and like LT fans because we didn't have a team in Cali and LA area. So most people were Charger fans because of San Diego.
How do you feel about, obviously with the Chargers moving over? I think a lot of people don't talk about that enough. They say, there's 2 teams in LA, and they say Oakland and, San Diego have sort of lost a team, but they haven't. You've just said they're growing up and not having a team. Like, does that make it extra special for you to be drafted and be on a team, that's close to where you were from and where you've grown up?
Bro, for sure. 100%. I think for me, bro, like coming to like playing in college at UCLA and coming here, that was really cool. That was like, that's kind of like something that you write in a movie script. Like you don't really that doesn't really happen to a lot of people. So that was kind of really special for me. And I think, growing up, bro, like LA didn't have football teams. We didn't have the Rams or the Chargers when I was growing up. So seeing what it is now, it's like, I feel like there's at the professional level, like LA's been more accepting towards that. Because at the time it was just UCLA, USC that was dominating like football in LA. So it's different now. We got some more options.
And you get to keep the good weather, which is good. When like you said, when you've been at college and there's good weather, I imagine some guys get drafted in the colder places and probably think, I've got to acclimatize now.
Facts, bro. Honestly, like when you're in Cali for your whole life and you all of a sudden have to go to the cold, it's different. Yeah.
Even me traveling into, been to visit games in other cities, like when you go to like Boston or like Wisconsin, I'm thinking, oof, it's a bit colder than London.
Facts, 100%. London is cold too, though. Yeah. My goodness, especially out there in the winter. I'm like, this place is freezing. Everyone's wearing their little trench coats, and like everyone's all bundled up. I'm like, dang, you could tell like I'm American because what I was wearing.
That's been like me here in the sun, got jeans on and people walking around like it's in the 90s Fahrenheit. What's this guy doing? And I'm like still in my life. So I need to buy some shorts while I'm out here for sure for the next few days.
Absolutely.
And then just talking about going back to obviously the win over the Vikings, you've got the Raiders next. It's obviously going to be a hotly contested game, and then you got your bye week. you know, if you can get to 2-2, I know obviously there's still a lot of football left to be played, but after the bye is usually where, regardless of where it is for teams, you know, they can do a lot of planning and be like, right, now we're going to push on. How far do you think that you as a team can go throughout the rest of the season? You know, what's the ceiling?
Yeah, honestly, I think sky's the limit. I feel like if we stay together, we believe, and you approach it 1 week at a time, then you could achieve a lot. It's still early. There's a lot of weeks left. Like, we're not even in October yet.
Yeah.
So there's still a ton of football left. So I just think stay together, be positive, keep working. If we keep practicing hard, playing hard, and I think good things will happen.
And I think just in terms of, you know, Justin, again, for me, I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but he also is one of those where I think a lot of people have some, I don't know, mixed opinions is the right word, but I think some people will put him top 3. So he's always top 10, but, you know, sometimes he can fall in that 6 to 7 range. For me, he can make every throw that there is. What's he like as a person, though, and to play with? You know, just give us some insight into, I guess, his leadership style and how he's developed since you've been on the Chargers too.
Yeah, bro, he's a great guy. And I feel like we came in together my rookie year. So, like, it was really cool to see, like, his growth right now and to see, like, him, obviously, like you said, he's an elite quarterback. He's one of the best in the league. And it's really cool to see now, like, him becoming, like, so much of a leader, a force, bro, being vocal and just being present. And guys love him here, bro. Like, we love him. And for him, bro, he's developing into something really special, bro. Like, obviously, he has Hall of Fame talent, Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to see that, you know, just right in front of me. I'm like, dang, bro, like that last game, just seeing those throws, I'm like, it's ridiculous, bro. So as long as he's playing for us, bro, we got a chance.
Yeah, and you guys dug in deep to win. I think especially considering the first 2 games were 1-score losses, that showed a lot of resolve already to come back and win a close one. So, yeah, I think you guys are in a good position, and obviously I'm wishing you the best of luck for the rest of it.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
I hope it goes well. And then I'm going to ask one last question. It might sound like an obvious one, but as a running back, you know, you want as many touches as possible, right? You're in a high-powered offense, though. Like we said, there's so many weapons there. We said Quentin Johnson's going to step up. There's Palmer, Keenan Allen, yourself, Austin. Would you rather be in a more ground and pound offense where you were getting to run? Or are you happy to, you know, share the love and you've got all the talent around you and – yeah,
that's a good question. I think for me, bro, like you said, like almost everybody wants the football, bro, at the end of the day. But honestly, you like it when you have other playmakers, other guys around with you, because that makes your job easier. It's like they're not asking you to be Superman, to do something crazy, because everyone else around you is good and they can carry their own load. So it's really special. And that's what makes us unique. It's like, dang, how do you attack us? Because so many people. But I think it's cool, bro, because I think we got something special brewing.
Okay, perfect. Well, yes, all the questions from me. And thank you so much for joining us, Joshua. It's been a pleasure, as I said. Wishing you all the best. Hope to hopefully see you in London next year. That would be great. No,
facts, bro. I'll be there. I'll pull up for sure, because I got to make my Europe tour again.
Yeah, go see Barca.
Sure.
Exactly.
Bro, that's on my bucket list. I got to go see Barca play. I have seen, I want to say, a Premier League game, but that was like a minute ago. But I got to go see one now. So it's going to be fun, bro. Like, I really like the UK. It's a really cool place.
Yeah, it's great. And hopefully, like I said, you guys will have a London game, and wishing you all the best for the rest of the season. And all the best.
Thank you, bro. Take care, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.
It was good talking to you.